Hello, my name's Jake, and I'm just going to talk you through how to play Jolene on the ukulele and make it give it a really nice country sound. Now, the first thing is, what you need to do is you need to start thinking about tunes always being in what we call standard time or in measures of four. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. For example, if I play Jolene like that, Jolene, 2, 3, 4, Jolene, Jolene, Jolene. That's okay, but it doesn't really kind of work. So, because it's a country song, what I do myself is I try and give it a sort of a 2-beat feel. So going 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, that sort of thing. So what I'm going to do with the ukulele is try and get that feel. And how I'm going to do it is I'm going to go like this. 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and. Okay? Listen what makes more sense when I play it. So, can you hear that? 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and. Now that's going to be the building block of playing the tune, but I'm not going to stick with that, okay? I'm going to change it and I'm going to move it around constantly. Okay, how do I do 1, 2, and? What I'm going to do is my thumb is going to hit that string, the G, okay? And that's the one nearest to your nose, okay? So that's a 1, and I'm just going to tap it with the side of my thumb, okay? And then I'm going to do down, up. 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and. Okay? So the thumb is tapping the top there, and it is more like a tap or a stroke rather than a hit. Okay? Now the down, up, what you want to try and do is don't worry about contacting all the strings with each strum. So when I go down, probably hit the 2.5, 3 strings, something like that going down, and cut the same coming up. Probably actually only strum 2 of the strings coming up. Okay, so 1, 2, and 1. Okay, you got that. Okay, let's just do it a bit. Jolene, 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 Jolene. I'm already adding extra bits on, but you get the idea. Right, first bit done. Now, if I'm going 1, 2, and 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 all the way through a tune, eventually it's going to start sounding a bit dull. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to do a little tricky technique, which I'm going to show you in a moment, where I can vary it. So I'm going to be going 1, 2, and 1, and 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and something like that. I can break it up. And what I'm going to do is a thing called a hammer on. What we mean by this is you get the chord, you hold the chord, and then you lift up one of the fingers and you play an open note, and then you add that note down to get a second sound. So it's almost like we always think about the ukulele as strumming to get notes, but actually we can get notes different ways. So 1 and. Can you hear that? 1 and. So what I'm going to do is do 1, 2, and then 1 and 2 and. 1. Okay, so 1, 2, and then I do the same pick, but because I'm adding and playing it open and then adding that note in, I get a sort of extra note. So 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Okay, so that's okay. We've got that as an idea. Where can we go? Can we do it with other chords? Yes. The arrangement I've done for Jolene, I like playing it in D minor, and the chords are D minor, F and C. If you go to my website, you should be able to find the song, okay, my song sheet for it. So D minor, F and C. Now, one thing you need to know about the ukulele is that's an open chord, and there's quite a similarity between what I'm playing here and what we do when we play the banjo, for example, which again is tuned to an open chord. Now, all the open notes are quite sympathetic to the key of D minor. So what that means is I can do hammer-ons in different places. So that's what I've been showing you. But what about if I do it with that finger? So I'm doing the same thing, a thumb coming down on the one, but I'm hitting a different string. Now, let's try that one. So it works on all three notes that you're holding down with D minor. Now, eventually, we can just put those into combinations in any combination. So sounds really nice, okay? And the idea is, I think, when you start, if you've never done this before, just concentrate on getting the thumb on that string there, because that's going to get you the quickest results, okay? But once you get used to moving your thumb, you can articulate it on different strings and hopefully get some independence, okay? Now, let's go back to Jolene, and we've got three chords. We've got D minor, F, and C. Now, working on the assumption of doing this hammer-on this note here, on that G, let's transition from D minor to F. So it sounds great on F as well, doing that, huh? Now, when I go to C, I've got a bit of a problem because I'm only holding down that note. Don't worry, we can still do the same hammer-on, because we're going to go from a G hammering onto an A, and within the chord of C, G's and A's, pretty good. You're going to hammer on and make it into a C6, which sounds pretty good. Okay, so proof is in the pudding. Let's play the whole thing through. Right, so okay, so you can hear that it's working. Now, the only thing that confuses when I teach people this is saying, where do I do? Where do I do it? The first strum I do when I go 1, 2, 1, or do I do one and then another? The thing is, this is a sort of pick, which is, one, it's a little bit forgiving, and two, it's really fun to fiddle about with. And eventually you find the right balance, okay? Well, certainly the right balance for you. So what I often do is establish the chord and then I add in the hammer-on, which was what I was just doing then. So, so if you could hear that, and that makes we get a combination of 1, 2, and 1 and 2 and 1, 2 and 1 and 2 and 1, 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1, 2 and, so a little bit of variation from always repeating the same idea, and that's more or less it. Okay, so this is Jolene. If you want to hear me play the song I've done another video of me just playing the song straight through, and you can download the track in D minor. Look my name up, Jake Rodriguez, Jolene. You should be able to find it that way. The last question before I stop this video is, can I use this on other tunes? And the answer is yes. It works best, this hammering on idea, with the ukulele in the key of C, G, and D. Okay? When you start playing in the key of A, starts getting a little bit fruity in places, because this open chord doesn't necessarily fit with all those chords. But if you're playing in G, and if you're playing in C and in D, and the keys of, should work. So here we go. Just almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River, country roads, take me home. You get the idea, okay? And you can, off you go. Have a go, fiddle about with it, and enjoy. Take care.